Even though this light is not as bright, you know, it still puts a lot of shadows and stuff on my face. It is a lot easier on my eyes. So I can still kind of see a little bit sometimes. Um, Especially when that light was more bright, I would be looking at the phone, well, looking around, whatever. I'm never just looking at the phone. But the light would be killing my eyes, and when I look back at the phone, I couldn't see anything. It would just be like like staring at the sun for a long time, and then you look, and then you can't see stuff. Anyways, so I haven't been that long since I finished the other one, but I was looking for something to do. This is like the weirdest day. Just having the power go off, you know, when I sleep with white noise, and when the fan goes off, it's just like silence, just wakes you up. But that is how this whole day now has just seemed kind of weird. But this is the way it's been for weeks, I would say. But so I started watching Odin's Men. It's an old one too. And there was a couple. One of them, these women who can't find a man. And these other ones who have to kind of dispel men's rights by claiming them as their own or something. And, you know, a lot of that propaganda that pushes that, this change, the agenda, the change in our society and stuff like that, that they will put it in like liberal propaganda magazines and stuff, this ridiculous stuff. And then you got people doing it. So one of them is some about man spreading. Young girls now, they need to go out and take up their space because they have not been allowed their space. So they need to spread their legs wide, block other people from having seats and stuff like that. For one thing, if you went somewhere and some man was sitting there taking up the whole thing oblivious and there was no place to sit, I would say, excuse me, can I sit there? You know, I'd ask for room to be made. For another thing, I don't think it's weird that men always sit like that. I mean, maybe if women, you know, it's just a different way of sitting. Like, I don't have stuff between my legs like it's bunching up so I can see having to spread their legs. But a woman, it is more about, you know, keeping that opening more private. I don't know. I don't see it as this like weird, I don't know. They're getting stuff so messed up with this gender, and all they want to do is create confusion and just weird shit like that. Like, so you got all these women going out and doing all these videos to show themselves out, man spreading, taking up their space because they should be allowed to have their space. Like, when did you feel like you were not getting your space? Like, if you're going on the bus all the time and you're feeling like someone's in your space, it's you are the one who needs to tell them to move. If they seem crazy, like you probably seem crazy to everybody with this, I mean, you don't see a lot of women go in and throw themselves down and spread their whole bodies out trying to take up all the space because they think that's what men do. It's like, look, I would think you come across as a nut. I would move to the other area. You would be creepy to me. So I don't know what is going on in these people's heads. And these people for this online dating. Oh my God, all he does is just notice my boobs and then he wants to message me. He doesn't know you. You are building a relationship off of that. Like, that is what you are putting yourself out there. I don't understand how people, like, they do things, but they think it's going to be like a different outcome or something. And these people who, you know, like, this is the trick here. And this is what got me, is because I'm always talking about setting your standard. So setting your standard is important, but it's different than what these people are doing. Like, to set their standard, this is to just make a list, your whole list of what you will not put up with or what this person better be. So you've just made a very, it's all about limitation. And there's a lot of things wrong with this whole situation. For one thing, you are completely limiting your experience. You're not taking responsibility for anything. You're not leaving things up to destiny. This person better be this way, this way, this way, this way. Well, maybe you are here to learn something that person is going to teach you. You've got to open yourself up. And I'm not saying open yourself up to online dating. I don't do it. I think it's weird. I know it works for a lot of people, but I'm way more of a for one thing, just how shallow it is. If I go and I just put all these pictures of me as a tattooed person, and it's just pictures of me doing stuff, like everybody does. Oh, I'm on a sailboat, or oh, I'm on a motorcycle, or whatever. All these pictures people put. And all you see is tattoos. Well, that's only going to be a certain person who's going to be drawn to me. That's not even opening myself up to people just meeting me and clicking. And then, so right there, I'm basing it on my exterior. People are going to be drawn to that certain thing. I don't want to go out with somebody who's just drawn to me because I have tattoos. They don't know me. They're just drawn to how I look. I don't want that in my life. So these people who go and they make all these rules and stuff like, oh, well, they have to like dogs, they can't like cats, they have to like all these things, like where is your give and take? Like, what are you bringing? You're just putting all this stuff. Like, what if they have a rule list just as long? Is there any rules that are flexible? Like, if you meet 25 of his, but you don't meet the last 5, should he be flexible? What about you? Should they be flexible? Setting your standard isn't like that. Like, you may need to write down, like a lot of people have. I've written it down before, like your list. Someone who is generous, somebody who's spiritual, somebody who loves to dance, somebody who enjoys cooking, somebody who can find pleasure in laying in the grass and staring up at the stars and talking about the world and what it all means. Somebody who likes to sit out in silence and watch the waves come in from the beach, like somebody who is interested in the same kind of things I'm interested in. So, that is kind of putting that out into the universe. Like I claim these things about myself, and I claim to want to be in alignment with somebody who also enjoys these things. So then, it is also about you raising your vibration to meet that of what you want, that of what you desire. You must meet that. You can't just sit down here, in this low vibration of judgment and limitation and all that stuff, and then you want this like something different. You have to raise up to meet that. So you can write all your lists all day long, but if you are not in alignment, that will not come to you. You will get something that will come to you to teach you more lessons, or you will completely cut yourself off and sit back, and that will be your lesson, is that nothing will come to you. You've limited your experience. You've blocked yourself in. There's, you wrote too many rules for yourself. It's just not about the rules, This is about us breaking free from the rules. It's about being in touch with yourself. It's about not limiting yourself. And speaking of limitations too, is just another thing about limitations I was thinking about. Because, I'm more of a, I don't know, they've got too many names of it now, but somebody who has a deep understanding that a soul has no gender. A soul is just energy. And that a body has gender, and that you have to, as a soul in a body, come into alignment. And for most of us to realize your experience that you're going through has something to do with your how you're going to see the world, how you're going to experience it as that gender. I mean, we got people going crazy with their gender, fluctuating, going back and forth and all that stuff. But if you are, just a regular person, and, just in alignment with your soul, and you can meet another soul that could be in the same gendered body, but you would still love them, but you would still have feelings for them, or you'd still want to spend time with them, whatever you do with your time. Like, each person is individual. But if you wanted to explore that love in whatever way you wanted to explore it, then there's people who put limitations on that. Oh, that would make me gay. That would make me this. That would make me that. It won't make you anything other than when you think it's going to make you. That is where, these limitations of these rules and stuff. I'm not saying everybody run around and just go out and have a bunch of gay sex. I'm not about having just sex all over the place. I think it's been very destructive for people and how they feel about themselves. I think that we need to take sex as being a lot more, we need to consider it as being a lot more of a energetic transfer, and a lot more like symbolic of love, but also it's a lot more of a connection. And people are trying to have all of these shallow, just meet my needs, but don't ask me for anything kind of situation. Like, sex is being very abused right now. It's, it's not what it's meant to be for, I don't think. So anyways, I think that there's people who are here who limit a lot of their experience by all of these rules. And, just like these girls who I can't find a date, but they've got like the longest list of can'ts that this person can't be. That, the most important thing you can do if you want to pull somebody in, like you have things about yourself that you like somebody can say, oh, you shouldn't be that way. Well, I'm fine the way I am. Those things about yourself that you enjoy. It may be that you love to travel, it may be that you hate to travel, whatever. Though the things that are you, when you can connect to those things, and then you can start wanting, like, I want a companion. I want someone who enjoys doing the things I do. The more that you lift yourself up, the more that you learn to love yourself and appreciate these things about yourself, the more you lift your vibration, the more that the things you love will come to you. If your desire is to have a companion to experience the things you enjoy experiencing, because you both are enjoying the same things, then you keep focusing on the things that you love. You keep focusing on, bringing yourself to that so that this alignment can happen. As long as you're down in this lower, making rules, you're going to be with the same kind of people that are there, that are just trying to make rules on you. You're never going to be good enough, just like nobody's going to be good enough for you. And that's not what setting your standard is about. Setting your standard is just about learning how to love yourself and learning that you don't have to accept treatment that isn't to your standard. You don't have to spend your time with people that you feel like your time is being wasted. Those kinds of things is setting your standard. You don't have to stay in situations that aren't for your best. This is about your growth. This is about your experience. This is your time, your life that you get to use as you want. So, and if it is about setting a bunch of rules and sitting back, then that's where you're at in life. You're here to learn, certain people, we can tell you all day long, hey, that's not going to work. You're going to think it works until you understand it doesn't work. Like, you cannot teach somebody something when they're not ready to hear it, when they're not ready to learn it. We're seeing that just every single day. We're seeing that. So that is just, to me, it is, we're here to just kind of turn the current, like I say about the never ending story and taking down the dark with the light. It is like the people who hear with their understanding is just to create the current to go that direction. And then, these people will just go on board until they figure it out or something. Like, I was aware of that when I was a little kid, being in the South and having an understanding of the difference with skin color and stuff that the people around me couldn't see. I always felt like I was bringing that energy so that they could see. I didn't have to sit and tell them all. I just knew I was a part of that energetic change, to be able to see it and understand it and know it. That's all it is. You see it, you understand it, you know it. We can't convince others of what we know. We can only change the current and and trust. It's kind of like we're trusting all of these people that we don't know that are also here for the same purpose, to expand consciousness, to create this new world. So, and we just are kind of all working together. It's weird because we don't know each other in this life, but we know each other on this other realm of reality. Probably most of us, I guess. I think a lot of souls know each other. I think it always has weirded me out is that there would be so many souls, right? Like billions and billions, and all in these other countries and stuff like that, going through horrendous experiences. And so how could it possibly be that we could know all of these different people? And, there's just so many souls, and that's only one planetary system. Like, you think about all these souls out there, and the souls are planets and trees and birds, like everything. And, but there is so much of, a soul isn't just one person. A soul can be playing a whole bunch of people at once. A soul could be a forest. So, I don't know. Things are a lot more vast, than what we have any kind of. Everything in this reality is very limiting. And there's no surprise that that's just how people do it, limit themselves. It's all about limitations and fear and all of that stuff. And we want to get to expansive. We want to get back to where we were when we were kids. We didn't question things, just like, you went and played doctor. You didn't sit there and go like, oh, I better not do this. Well, I mean, a lot of times you knew you were going to get in trouble. But you just went with the experience, and I think there's so much of us just being held back. We went with, oh my gosh, the things I did as a little kid, I can't even believe I lived. I was telling my mom recently of all the different times that I could have just not come home. The time I was hanging off the cliff and my friends had to pull me back up. Like, kids are just out there doing it, living life, going through experience and having fun. That's what we got to get back to, is just that explore, just like willing to risk it, willing to just go out and experience the world, knowing that this is not the end. Doesn't matter what happens. You can jump out of an airplane and, crash to the ground. It didn't work out. You're going to plop right back up in a different place. You can decide if you want to come back and do it again and again and again, but at least you had that experience. And I'm not telling people go out and do risky experiences. I'm just saying, I really feel that so many people are so scared and so limited in their experience that they live with the fear of not going to heaven, of being gay, of dying without these. Like, it is just, figuring out that you are infinite and you are creating your experience. and you create your limitations. And it's not about trying to teach others. It's about you are here to learn, to raise your vibration. So anyways, probably just me more of rambling my same stuff. I always do. But things get in my head at like certain things that happen. Just watching those girls talk about some of this stuff. It's like, oh my God, you are wasting. Like, what in the world drives you to want to go out and waste time to ride around on buses and look crazy because you need to spread your legs as far as possible because you think men get to? I don't know. Maybe they should just, strap some stuff on down there, walk around and see how comfortable it is to keep their legs closed. Maybe that's the experiment they should try. I don't know. Anyways, have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.